I've said it before and I say it again. I've never met a Mini I didn't like. And this one is no exception. This Mini is what I would categorize as obscure, rare, and no longer available in the US market. Now, to the untrained eye, you might think this is just a base model Mini Cooper Clubman, but it's not. This is a Mini Cooper Club van. And this is the first time I've ever had the opportunity to feature one on my channel. And this one is really done up. Now, as you can see, they do pit bull rescue, so they have stickers all over this car. I mean, everywhere. The vinyl down the sides. This car was originally white and was then painted black by the previous owner. And it is just an interesting little car. Now, of course, inside it's a 6-speed manual gearbox and plain leatherette seats. So it is very basic in here as far as a Mini Cooper is concerned. I mean, very basic. Now, I show you the engine not because it is clean, obviously, but because I've been told this is unusual. This is not a Mini Cooper engine. This is apparently, from what I've been told, a British truck engine that was used in the club van. Now, I could be completely wrong on this, but this is what the owners told me that they were told. So this is not a Mini Cooper engine technically, but it's still interesting enough to share with you all just because there are unique things about this car all over the place. Now, another interesting thing to note here is this is a scuff surface or a textured surface here. The weird thing is it's starting to peel off. This is actually, I've been told, is the glass underneath. So it still has its windows technically, although I don't know if it actually is glass like the owner thinks it is. It may actually just be a plastic panel. But if it were the actual window glass, that would be rather amusing. Now, in typical R55 Clubman fashion, you have the club door. And if you find the handle and give it a nice pull, and it doesn't stick, there we go. You'll see no back seat, a gridded panel here, and a rim around the cargo area. That indicates what's at the back. And what's at the back is a cargo space, and a fairly good-sized cargo space, I might add. There's lots of room back here to carry all your stuff around. You can put a spare tire down there if you really want to, but the entire toolkit's down there under this removable load panel. There's tie downs all over the floor here. And I almost wonder if you really were crazy enough, you could turn this into a mini camper, I think. Just have a little fun with it. Pretty cool. So what else is interesting about this car? Only 50 of them were brought to the United States. This is one of 50, and I'm not sure how many were manual. So this car, by virtue of the fact that only 50 of them were brought to the US as far as we know, makes this probably one of the rarest Mini Coopers you can buy, if you can find one. And I guarantee you, you're not going to find one if you're looking for it, because it's so rare. Kelley Blue Book doesn't even have a designation for this car. Edmunds doesn't even have a designation for this car. Whatever other buyer's guide you're looking at does not have a designation for this car, because only a small number of them were brought to the US. It is that rare. And it's so rare, in fact, that what happened is the owner of this vehicle was hit by a truck. So what did he do? The insurance technically totaled the car out, but given the fact that the car is so incredibly rare, they wanted to give him the value of a Mini Cooper Clubman. And that's absurd. This is not a Mini Cooper Clubman. This is a Mini Cooper Club van. So what did the owner do? He did not want to see this wonderful little car of his go to the junkyard. So he bought it back and he rebuilt it. And as far as some scuffs here and there, and you can see the rear bumper where it got impacted by the car, and the new Clubvan doors, which are actually Cooper S Mini Clubman doors, it looks about as it did before the accident. The owner does not have any intentions of ever giving up this car, as far as I know. It is so rare to him, and it's a special vehicle. It really is a special vehicle because it's such an unusual and such a rare car. So why weren't more of these brought to the US market? Well, it had to do with something known as the chicken tax. And if you know anything about pickup trucks or commercial vehicles brought over from Europe, you'll know that it's next to impossible to do it cheaply. And that's what happened with the Mini Clubvan. Ford did this with the Transit Connect. Their first Transit Connect that they brought to the US market was built in Turkey. It was sold in the US as a commercial vehicle, but they couldn't import them as commercial vehicles. So what did they do? They were very, very sneaky. What they did is they imported them to the US as passenger vans, and then in port, they would strip the interior, remove all the window glass, and fill them in with panels, and then sell them as cargo vans in the US market. And because of that, they were able to get around the chicken tax and sell those vehicles. For a period of time, they were able to do that. Then they had no choice, and they had to start building them in the US market because I think the government got onto them. Mini, on the other hand, did not go so sneaky, and they could have. They could have brought over Cooper Clubmans and then removed the windows, removed the back seats, and configured them in the US as club vans, but they didn't do that. They wanted to be good about their cars, so they actually shipped them over as club vans. The result was that these were more expensive than a Cooper Clubman usually, and because of that, they didn't sell very well in the US market, which is why you cannot find many of these anymore. There's only one other one that I'm aware of, and it was reviewed by Doug DeMiro, and he did a fantastic review on that little vehicle. I enjoyed watching it, but I think it's kind of fun to see one that's been modified, and not necessarily in the way you think. I'm talking about modified in the way of vinyl and stickers, just having fun with it, because the whole point of a Mini is to have fun with it. And as you can see, this owner has had a lot of fun with his car, and I think he made it his own. He personalized the vehicle. It's a great little vehicle. He's even given it a name. Now, he calls the car Tank. So the story dates back to when he bought the car. The day he bought the car, for some reason, the parking brake wasn't set correctly, and it rolled down a hill and crashed into a building. The car, no damage. The building, on the other hand, I think it lost a brick wall, if I'm not mistaken. So this thing, in his view, was built like a tank. So that's what he called it. This is Tank the Mini. And it's a great little Mini. It's a great little club van. It's incredibly rare, and I think it's fantastic. But I don't know if I can even fit this into a category of a playlist for Clubman, because it's not a Clubman, it's a club van. It is very, very rare. But I'll add it to that playlist anyway, just because it's such a good car. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like below. Don't forget to comment. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. And as always, before I let you go, I'm just going to remind you all that life is too short to drive a boring car. So, drive a Mini. Drive a Mini. Definitely. I'll see you all in the next video.